Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Corey Has a Podcast. What's up, America and everywhere else in the world? This is me, your boy. Got that sunshine in my pocket and a motherfucking pee. I take songs and the ones that I like, and sometimes I just know the words after 2 listens because I am a savant. And other times I'll be like, strawberry champagne on ice, strawberry champagne on ice. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Strawberry champagne, because that song is called That's What I Like. Anyway, so, everybody, I just want to give you guys all a quick update. The guy who flew off his bike after being struck by a door of someone getting out of an Uber, flew off his bike, flew about 10 feet away from the fucking scene of the accident, and he landed on the street. He was like, oh, my hand. And I went up to the guy and I was like, hey, man, are you all right? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine, but my hand. Turns out that guy lost his hand, got a robotic hand, went on a rampage, reaching into Ubers, parked at red lights all over the city, choking people out, trying to find the guy who made him lose his hand. And that's not the worst of our troubles. In other news, no, actually, I don't know what happened to that guy, but, I hope that he's got 2 hands. I hope justice is served. We just got a new album from Kendrick Lamar. I listened to it for the first time today on, this is Friday. I listened to this album for the first time and the day it came out. And I listened to it straight through. Not necessarily uninterrupted, but I listened to it all the way through. I listened to like half and half. I was on my way to the barbershop to get that fresh fucking cut because you know what time it is. Yep, haircut every other week. This was a haircut week. On my way, listening to the K-Dot, and it's an incredible album. I have strong opinions about it, and my opinion is that it's a fucking fantastic album. I love that it's not too long. I hate these fucking long albums. Nobody nailed the length of an album better than J. Cole. J. Cole's off-season album is the perfect length of an album. It's not too long, but it's also not too short. Like, is it in yet? You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of those. Like, it's a perfect length. There's not too much Cole. It's kind of the perfect length, kind of like that podcast by that guy, Corey Has a Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick's album, great length. I think there's... I don't want to say 13. Maybe there's 13 tracks on it. Let's find out how many songs are on Mr. Morale. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. 75 minutes. Got 18 tracks. You know what? That's how you know it's a good album, because I think 18 tracks is a little bit long. That's like Eminem album length. I feel like all the Eminem albums are like 18 tracks. And the reason I know that is because I'm a big Eminem fan, right? Not a stan. Yo, one day somebody said, oh, so you must be a big Eminem stan. And I almost struck that dude. Don't you fucking ever call me a stan. I'm nobody's stan, all right? I'm a myself stan, all right? So watch your fucking mouth. But I'm a fan of the guy. I'm clearly fired up, and I'm in a really good mood, though, because I got my powerlifting meet coming up in a week. I'm feeling pretty good. I hit some strong lifts. I got an email from Seamless telling me that if I order a poke bowl one more time, I'm going to get $5 off. And that's the system. You spend $50, you get $5. And you can't get $5 unless you spend $50. That's what Smash Mouth was talking about. You never know if you don't go. Chicken, what? You never shine if you don't glow. Which is, now that I think about it, kind of dumb. You never shine if you don't glow. But you know what? They're immortalized because of that song and the movie Shrek, starring Mike Myers, a.k.a. Austin Powers, a.k.a. the world is ready for another Austin Powers movie. Who is with me on that one? Somebody, anybody, you. Yeah, it's just I think Kendrick's album's awesome. I went online while I was listening to the album because he was talking about his family and shit, and I was like, how many kids does this guy have? Turns out he's got 2 kids. Kendrick Lamar is 2 years older than me. He's 34. I'm a young man. I'm 32, okay? I'm basically a baby, which is what people that are in their 40s like to say to you. But it's funny because I guarantee that those people that are in their 40s felt like they were adults when they were 32 and said that same shit to somebody in their 20s. To me, it's just kind of corny, but whatever. I just let people live. You know what I mean? We're all going to get there. What are you, fucking sad that you're in your 40s? Why don't you just be dope because you're in your 40s? Being 40 is cool as shit. You know why? Because you're smart, you have experience. What are you just gonna use your powers to tell somebody who's in their in their 30s that they're a baby? Whack ass use of your powers. Fucking get something else, all right? You know, it's like my mom. I'm your mother, yeah. So I'm an adult, right? Get over it. I should call my mom right now. I've been like thinking about calling my mom on the podcast because I got this theory. And my theory is I can call my mom. Actually wouldn't call this a theory, but I do believe that I could call my mom at any time and she will answer the phone. She just always does. It doesn't matter if it's fucking 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. And it doesn't matter what time it is. She just always answers the phone. So maybe I should give her a call right now. This would be a first. Corey's had a podcast. You know, I got a missed call from her too. This is real. Let's see what happens. Wow, she's really gonna do this shit to me.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Ma, what's going on? Listen, I got to tell you something real fast.
All right, well, hurry up because I'm on the phone with a sex around.
You're on the phone. I got a motorcycle.
Oh, my God.
I got a motorcycle.
You're crazy. Hold on. No more.
I'm just kidding. I don't have a... Listen. I'm going to call you back later. I just wanted to see if you would answer the phone. Wow, she really put me on hold. Anyway, I'm not going to keep doing this, but she's going to call me back now and she thinks I have a motorcycle. But I'll tell you what, I'm just happy that she didn't leave me hanging out there because I just made some bold statements. One of those being that my mom always answers the phone when I call her. And I've never been a mama's boy a day in my life. I have a problem with mama's boys, okay? But my mom does get brought up on this podcast a lot. I actually was a guest on a podcast called the Why Am I podcast. It's a podcast hosted by a gentleman named Greg Soul. He's down in Texas, and he does this podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. You can find it. It's very interesting. He interviews people from all over the country, from all different walks of life and professions and backgrounds, and gets them to, you know, talk about themselves. And he's got this really cool kind of icebreaker warm-up exercise that gets people comfortable and to get into that space to be ready to just kind of start telling their story. And I was asked to be on this show, or if I'd be interested rather, and I was interested. But also you say yes to these things with this kind of feeling of, wow, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, who the fuck do I think I am going on this show and talking about myself like I've done anything special? But that's a bad attitude to have, I also realized. Why haven't I done anything special in my mind? I do special things every day. You know, to at least a few people, I am important. To like at least a small handful of people. I tell you what, I'd have a hard time, like if I was still wrapped up on social media and I saw what little following I had. Hold on a second, guys. Hey, Ma, I'm doing my podcast right now. What's up?
What?
I'm doing my podcast. What's up?
Oh, nothing. You called me. What you mean?
I called you. I didn't call you. All right, I'll talk to you later. I love you. Bye.
All right. Love you too.
All
Bye,
right.
my baby.
Bye. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so anyway, whatever. I went on this podcast and I was like, yo, beforehand, I was like, I'm going to sound like a real cocksucker if I go on here and just start talking about myself. But this dude's he's got this superpower. I don't even know if he realizes that he has it, but he creates a really comfortable space in which you can have an open conversation that doesn't feel like you're being judged. It's not like when you go to Planet Fitness, who they say that they're a judgment-free zone, but the second you fucking go, because you're pushing some heavy weight, an alarm goes off. And then a bunch of guys come out dressed like Oompa Loompas, and they escort you off the training floor, and you can no longer come back to that gym because it makes people feel uncomfortable. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. It's quite the opposite. So I think that's really cool. And it's a great show. And the episode that I'm on, Why Am I Corey Easley, is dropping in a couple of weeks. So I'll announce it when it comes out. It's not my show, but it's a great show, and I think you guys should absolutely check it out. There's no reason why you shouldn't. There's so much good content out there. But what I was going to say is, so I looked up Kendrick Lamar's family, and I saw that he has 2 kids. I also saw stuff about his new album just popped up, obviously, because it just dropped. And one thing I saw was criticism and praise over some songs on his album. And all I could think was, man, I feel so fucking free not being attached to social media in any way, because I don't have to hear anybody else's opinion about an album that I genuinely enjoyed listening to, right? Like, I called up my best friend and we talked about the shit because he's a Kendrick fan too, and we chopped it up a little bit about it. He enjoyed it as well. And that was it. That was the extent of it. But I didn't have to fucking, like, you know what people do? They share the song. Hey, everybody, this is one I really like. I was really feeling this one, so I'm going to put it in my story so everybody else can go, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I'm not around that right now, right? And I've had plenty of moments, because a couple people have asked me what it's like, or said things like, man, it must be great for your mental health. And it's like, to hear so many people say that to me, this whole Instagram thing, to hear so many people say, like, how just aware they are of how detrimental the constant access to everyone has been to their mental well-being. It's like, you would think that more people would just go, fuck it, I'm just going to step away from this for a while. But then again, you know, we do fucking all kinds of shit that we know we should stop doing all the time. So it's naive of me to think that, right? What are you going to do with your time when you got time? We always bitch about, yo, I wish I had time to do this. But we don't do shit with our time. What do you want time for? To sit on your couch exercising your fucking thumb, sliding up your screen, looking at the fucking whatever everyone else is doing, instead of actually doing things? Or do you want to just run your mouth and talk about how I'm trying to do this? No, you're not. What does trying mean to you? Because trying to me looks like actually putting in some kind of effort. If talking about an idea you might have is trying to you, then you got it all fucked up, playboy. You got to get out there and start fucking getting in that work, baby. Getting your hands dirty a little bit, you know? I'm drinking a cup of tea, by the way. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't have to fucking know about the opinions of a bunch of people. Like, I just listened to an album and then went, wow, I really enjoy this. This is great. I don't need to fucking know what anybody else thinks about it, unless I can make eye contact with that person, talk to him in real life about the album, which is cool. Is my protest of Instagram gonna make a difference in the world? No. Nobody gives a shit. I can only hope that maybe I can inspire someone to go, you know what? Corey is making it seem really easy. Because I'll tell you what, let me tell you the reasons. Let me tell you the reasons that I hadn't done this for a long time. Number one, well, I have a podcast. How will people know when my podcast comes out? Well, truth be told, at the time when my podcast came out, the people that knew about it subscribed to it, and I shared it with people directly. And the following started to build quite a bit. But the truth is, who follows me besides people that I know? And you know who supports you least most of the time? People you know. Motherfuckers will not listen to your shit. You know, that's just straight up fact. Like, they just won't. And you can't take it personally. I am not like that. I know motherfuckers that put out content that, it's not really necessarily my cup of tea, and I will religiously engage with their content. But motherfuckers don't do that shit to me. Jay-Z said, in all the success I receive, I know you can't believe I still love them, but they don't love me. You know? It's like the drunk uncle in your family. You know they lame, you feel ashamed, but you love them the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I show love. Never get the same out of niggas. Guess it's funny how money could make change out of niggas. Like, that's me, though. And I learned a long time ago that you can't be, you can't hold everybody doesn't hold themselves to the same standard that you hold yourself to. So keep doing you, baby. Don't let people's whackness affect your dopeness. Now, let me tell you how fucking psychotic I am. I was talking to my therapist via... There's a messenger that's part of the app that I have my therapy on. And apparently I responded to a message while I was underground in the New York City subway. And I just responded. I just sent the response. Days go by, I get nothing. Then I start thinking, fuck, like, is my therapist ghosting me? Like, has she had enough? Has she gotten to a point where, holy shit, I can't listen to this guy talk any fucking longer about how inadequate he feels in his life? And no, it just turns out that because I was underground, the message didn't actually go through. So that was me. That was me displaying my severe abandonment issues. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. I'm not one of those people that likes to self-diagnose, but I have become a person who likes to figure out what is making me feel like certain intense feelings, right? Like, if I feel angry, I've gotten to a point, and this is a skill, this takes practice. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, Corey, why is this making you angry? And then I'll start kind of being able to, once I start figuring it out and peeling those layers, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm really not angry. Maybe I'm just being a bitch. Or maybe I'm just afraid that this situation is out of my control, right? It's just usually some shit like that. Or why am I so sad? It's kind of cool to try to figure out, kind of figure out why you feel the way you feel, as opposed to just reacting like you're some kind of fucking animal. Although we are animals. I had a guy say to me, the guy said this to me today. I had a guy say, humans are the only animals that will make the same mistake twice. And I thought to myself instantly, because he said it with such confidence. Like the level of confidence that someone has when they find a quote on the internet and then they share it on a social media page. Almost as if to say, look how enlightened I am. That's how he said it. And I thought, well, my cat, I've seen her do dumb shit all the time and make the same. I've seen dogs eat things that aren't food. Humans are the only animals that make the same mistake twice. Doubt it. Fucking doubt it. But that's cool. That sounds cool. Unless, look at me trying to tear him down. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what I deem to be a mistake made by an animal is not a mistake to the animal. That's the sound of my mind being blown. That's what it sounds like. Yo, I was on the train the other day and I'm wearing a mask. Masks are still required on the MTA. I'm wearing a mask. And someone just fucking straight up farted. Like a bad one. And it's like, I get it. Like, we're all wearing masks. But I smelled that shit through the mask. And it smelled like, yo, bad smells can get me. A bad smell could really get me. And this shit almost got me. Can you imagine if there was just a wave of people straight up projectile vomiting on a train, but they all had masks on, so it was like shooting out of the sides and on the person next to them, and then it just caused this chain reaction of Scary Movie 2 style, we're vomiting all over each other on the train. That would be gross. That'd be really gross. I also saw a guy. You see a lot of shit on the train. I'm from New York City, I've seen this shit my whole life, but sometimes you're just still kind of amazed. I saw a guy get on the train the other day. He got on the train with a purpose. He's like, I'm going to give a speech. He gets on the train, he gives a speech. Didn't look like he had anywhere to go in particular, right? Maybe homeless, maybe not. There's a lot of fake homeless. There's homeless, but there's fake homeless. Most of them are dudes. And if they're a woman, they're carrying some baby around. And they walk around holding a sign going, I got this baby. And I always wonder, why is no one taking this fucking baby away from this woman? There's no fucking way, right? That we would just allow this woman to just be homeless, allegedly, and have a baby. But there's not a lot of homeless women, right? What's that about? Mostly homeless dudes. I don't know. Someone help me out with that. The guy gets on the train. He's got a Bible in his hand. He's talking about, and Jesus, and he's saying all this shit about how Jesus is coming back, and about how, abortion is fucked up and all this shit. And then he just got on at 51st Street on the 6 train, going southbound, downtown, eastbound and down, and boom, hopped right off at 42nd Street, Grand Central. One stop. He had such a perfectly concise speech that he was able to deliver this speech in one train stop, and he hopped right off. He basically told us we were all going to hell, and we should come on down to the church next Thursday if we want to hear some real truth, brother. That's something you would hear if you were somewhere in like Kentucky or some shit. Kentucky. Why did I just see something about Kentucky? Somebody famous is from there. Kentucky. I don't know about Kentucky, but I know about St. Louis, Missouri, which makes me think of the rapper Chingy, who this song Right There keeps coming on. And I'm just like, can we just put this shit to bed? How many songs do I have to keep hearing for the rest of my life? I don't think anyone even says right there on purpose anymore. Right? People still say get my hair did, but I'm going to fucking give that credit to Missy Elliott. She's Missy Elliott, okay? Missy Elliott is infallible. Am I using that word correctly? Hold on. Infallible. Incapable of... And Missy Elliott is infallible, okay? Can we put right there to bed? Jesus Christ. So I recently did some investigating. I looked up Chingy and I found out that this man tried to become an actor. That's cool. And these people just fall off the fucking face of the earth, right? What happened to Petey Pablo? It's just I guess these trends and these fads come around of like music, and they just kind of pick somebody and that person's famous and they just build that person's career up. And I mean, if you think about it, like look at the Super Bowl from this year. There were people that have been around for like the last 20 years were in the Super Bowl. Even longer than that. Like I feel like fucking Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were around as long as I've been alive. And we're just running out of people. We're running out of people. What are we going to do? Are we going to go backwards? Why don't we go backwards? Why don't we go a little bit backwards? Not too far backwards, but just backwards enough where maybe boy bands come back. Maybe hip-hop stops being so poppy and annoying, right? Thank God for Kendrick. We need more of that, right? Or some kids don't want to hear that shit. I was walking down the street. I heard some fucking kid. He was rapping the words to some song, talking about... all I caught was that one of the lyrics was about him shooting somebody in the head, right? Which, okay, so you still got the violence. There's gratuitous amounts of violence, but it still sounds like... There's this song, I think it's a Migos song, but again... Pardon my ignorance, and I'm not going to look this up. I already looked up Infallible today. That's one. Everybody gets one. There's a Migos song where he goes, raindrop, drop top. And I'm like, are we trying? Are we trying? Doesn't really seem like it to me. And it's a real bummer. Now, someone said to me, I got an email. To my Corey has a podcast at gmail.com email, which you can email at any time if you have any queries. If you'd like to dispute something I said on the show, like the time I said sweet potatoes taste better than regular potatoes, although I do think they're delicious as well. I'll have a potato in any kind of shape, way, or form. You see how I said that in a fucking different way? Not on purpose. That was an accident. Somebody said that Michael Keaton was a better Batman than the 90s animated series cartoon Batman, and I have to disagree, okay? And this is the reason. I love Michael Keaton, okay? I think Michael Keaton's incredible. I think he was the Beetlejuice that we all needed, right? Birdman was an amazing film. He was the snowman in the movie Jack Frost where the fucking dad dies in a horrible truck accident, which sounds way worse than car accident and probably could have been avoided if he was riding a fucking horse. That's all I'm going to say. And, you know, but Batman, I mean, this is the thing about Batman. If I feel like I could beat the shit out of the person playing Batman, I don't think they should play Batman. And it's funny because, like, I thought that I was going to feel that way about Robert Pattinson, which sounds like the name of an author, doesn't it? Robert Pattinson. Like a fucking John Grisham, you know? The guy from Twilight who, I read that book, to be honest. And I'm going to be honest with you right here. Look at this, right? I read Twilight, saw the movie, was disappointed. Because the way Edward Cullen was described in the book, I felt like he was going to be a way hotter dude who was way more buff. And it was at that moment when I realized, I guess my idea of what I think an attractive man is not the same as what most people think. And strictly mostly women, because it seemed to me like all the girls were excited about Robert Pattinson. Whoa, something to email me about. How hot is Robert Pattinson to you? Corey's got it's Corey has a podcast at gmail.com. You know, but I tell you what, have I ever looked at Robert Pattinson and thought that he could kick my ass? Absolutely not. For some reason, he worked as Batman because he was a young Batman. You know, a little broody for me, but then again, is Batman a normal person? You know, oh, my hand. His parents died, right? And he decided to become a fucking vigilante because he had nothing else to do with his time. That's some rich people shit. Oh, he doesn't have to work. I just have all this money. You know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and hate, like, but can you really do that in real life? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm glad that shit's not real, by the way. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, it'd be cool if, Batman. No. There's no the Joker without Batman. The Joker is a terrorist. How much would it suck being afraid to leave your house because of all the crazy shit going on? Because some asshole decided to dress like a bat in a fucking gimp suit. I don't think it's a gimp suit, but you get it. But he was beating the shit out of people in that movie, man. And I'll say, listen, I'm going to say it one more time. It was cool. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Batman again. Say, oh, you talk about Batman all the time. Yeah, because you motherfuckers made me obsessed. It was you. It was all you. It was all a dream. Yeah, but I'm really excited that we got a new hip hop album. A new hip hop album to listen to. Now, I was talking to a guy the other day, and I found out that I was wrong about something. And I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong. But turns out, so I was talking to him about bears, and I was like, yeah, man. Well, we started out talking about mooses, and then bears came up in the conversation. And I said, yeah, man, bears just eat you from like the ass up. They just start eating your ass. So you basically have to be alive while they're eating you until you die. And I found out that that's not necessarily true. Bears actually don't really eat people that often. But if a bear does eat people, if a bear eats someone, it will snap their neck likely and finish the job. Because, nobody wants to hear that be getting screamed at while they're trying to eat, right? So, if the bears aren't that dumb. But yeah, guys, listen, I'm going to get the fuck out of here because I've been rambling on about who knows what. And that's it. Time's up. This is all you get this week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the people you love. I mean that. I say it every time, right? I say that every time because it's important to me. It's not just my sign off tagline. I really mean that shit. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people you love, right? That shit means something. It's like when you got a friend that goes, hey, let me know when you make it home. Keep those people close to you because they genuinely care. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the world. Some people don't make it home. You should be happy that you did. Now, I'll see you fuckers next week, all right? Later.